In the press conference after the game between the Fever and the Mercury, Alyssa Thomas pretty much said everything that a lot of fans are saying about Stephanie White is that we know everything they're about to run. That's not good because when it comes to coaching, you have to be prepared to make adjustments in game. And when you're that predictable, because they were giving up open threes against the Mercury, it was just dumb strategy by Stephanie White. It just becomes a situation where, like, are you just, a coach where you don't like to change things up? Are you ever going to make improvements? Because when teams can scout you and figure you out and they can run the same plays over and over again, I understand the Fever are hurt, but as a coach, you got to be able to change things up. I remember with Eric Spoelstra, he ran his zone with the Heat. It was so hard to deal with. They were so good at like manipulating the offense, getting them frustrated, and getting them out of the rhythm. And he worked on that for years with his team, and that's what helped him make NBA Finals runs. But when it comes to Stephanie White, you don't see any type of new schemes out there, try new things. It's the same strategies over and over again. I want to play what Alyssa Thomas had to say here because I agree with everything she's saying.
on both sides of the ball.
Huge advantage. I mean, like you said, we played what 2 years. Everything's pretty much the same stuff. Defense, offense. We know everything they're about to do.
Defense and offense. And that's not a good sign when a player's coming out saying, yeah, we know exactly what Stephanie White's about to do. We know what she's trying to accomplish. We know the agenda here, and nothing catches them off guard. You can say, oh, well, the Fever didn't lose by much. Doesn't matter. If the team knows how to expose you and they keep attacking that same weakness over and over again, and you're not making any type of adjustments to counter what they're doing. Because a lot of times the Fever, they play very slow. It reminds me of like when the Connecticut Sun, where it's like, they try to drag games out and it's very ugly basketball. That doesn't fit the Fever style. And that's what Stephanie White is doing with this basketball team. And it's just ugly to watch and not a good look for Stephanie White. I know some people are saying, well, you know what? Well, yeah, it's called watching film and learning schemes. The thing is this, they're going to know the schemes in the game, but you have to learn to counter those situations. You have to have backup plans. You have to learn to say, okay, if they take this away, what's our next counter? And if that's not happening, then yeah, you're not going to be successful in sports. So yeah, it's just not a great look for Stephanie White. And it's another reason why I think the Fever should move on from Stephanie White. They won't because we understand that the Fever have been dealing with a lot of injuries this year, that they're going to come out and say, well, Caitlin Clark missed almost the entirety of the season, and we didn't expect DeWanna Bonner to leave. They're going to have a list of things of why they're bringing back Stephanie White. And if the same thing happens next year, we're going to go, what do you say now? If players are coming out and saying that, yeah, it's not hard to deal with Stephanie White's schemes, we know exactly how to attack everything she's throwing at us, that's just not going to end well. And then you have Natasha Howard bringing the ball up, and Caitlin Clark will have stretches where she's literally watching everybody else dribble the ball and she doesn't get a touch at all. She's just sitting in the corner for an open three. And like, that's not her game. She needs to have the ball. She needs to run the offense and initiate everything because good things happen when Caitlin Clark is running your offense. I understand she has her turnovers, she has her moments, but she is your point guard. Her role is to facilitate the ball and put pressure on the defense, drive the ball and attack and kick out to open teammates or draw fouls and finish at the rim or shoot her threes. I don't understand what Stephanie White is trying to accomplish here because it's not helping this team whatsoever. So if this continues next season where she's just trying to slow games down, drag things out, take Caitlin Clark out of her rhythm and make her not relevant in the offense, then we're going to be at the same point next year where they're not winning a lot of games, they're blowing fourth quarter leads, and you're going to look at Stephanie White and go, she's got to leave. You got to fire her. But we shall see how this all plays out. Am I surprised that people are saying this about her style? No, I'm not. Because when you watch her, it's like you have a game plan. That's great. But once they start changing things up and making adjustments, you don't counter it. Like I remember watching the game against the Sparks, and the Fever were coming back, and they were making a run. Okay, Clark didn't play in that game. But it took them until like the end of the fourth quarter to make a strong push at the end to maybe pull it out. And I'm like, Where was the adjustments before then? Why did we wait till like the last 4 minutes of the game to make a strong push? When the Sparks were running in transition, they were, just blowing by them. And Doncic played a push in that game and she was getting destroyed out there. I'm like, she shouldn't be playing that situation. The Sparks are too fast. She can't handle their speed. And what happened? The Sparks, built a big enough lead. And then all of a sudden you had to make a last minute comeback. And look, I understand that they don't have a lot of versatility at that position, but you could have played a smaller lineup and combated some of that fast pace the Sparks are running. But Stephanie White did not do that in the game. She never made that adjustment. So that's the thing. Like, you have to look at matchups. You have to figure out, okay, how can we attack our opponents and why are they having so much success? How can I counter that? And if you're not making any type of adjustments, well, you're just not a good coach and you're not fit for the Indiana Fever. Maybe Stephanie White would be better with a team that likes to slow the game down, likes to drag things out and play this, ugly basketball. But with the Fever, that's not going to work out very well. This team is at their best when they're playing with more pace. Were they always running transition? No. But when they're moving the ball around, when they're playing faster, they are hard to deal with. The thing is this, right now, the Fever rank 4th in points. It doesn't feel like that because they've had situations this year where they've struggled. And again, that fourth quarter needs to get better. There is no excuse to have double-digit leads and blow them. That is on Stephanie White. You can't just blame the players for the lack of competitiveness and blowing those leads all the time. The coach has to get them ready for those moments, and that needs to change next year. If I see them blowing fourth quarter leads where they have double digit situations and they blow them, or they're only down like 2 points to start the fourth quarter and they lose by double digits, you have to look at Stephanie White and go, what are you doing out there? How are you coaching this team? So yeah, those are my thoughts about the situation with Stephanie White. Do you think she needs to go? Is it time to move on from Stephanie White? Do you agree, Alyssa Thomas, as well, about how she manages games and that she's so predictable? And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.